Okay.
That almost never happens in the car.
So,
Although the wind out there, that sometimes happens in the car. Oh, okay, so we saw Risen and The Witch. Who we start with first?
let's do The Witch.
You want to do The Witch first?
I do.
More than the
Just
Jesus
because,
movie?
like, I still have, like, fresh emotions
You
about
still
The
have
Witch,
the
I guess.
demon.
Still got the demon.
So, The Witch was the second movie that we went to go see. The new horror movie that's out, getting really, really good reviews, and you don't like horror movies.
I don't.
So what did you think?
It was really good. I didn't enjoy myself because it was too good, because I don't like horror movies. But, I mean, it was good. It was... I'm done. The end.
Oh, so yeah, you did, but you didn't get up and leave once, like...
No, I mean, I'm not that big of a wuss. I am, but I didn't leave.
Unless you did, and it was just some, like, makeshift dummy that you quickly assembled, and, like, when I was having my sneezing fit.
I didn't even notice you were having a sneezing fit.
Actually, that happened during the previews when you stepped out for a sec.
Oh, okay.
The previews got very scary.
They hadn't even started when I left.
I liked our audience.
I liked the girl right behind me.
What was the girl behind you doing?
I can't remember anything in particular other than, like, when the goat starts talking, she was like, "Oh!"
Was she the one who, when the kid and the baby turned back up, she was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I liked her.
When it, like, shows what's actually happening, which is that the mom is letting a crow eat her tit. She was like, "That seems unnecessary."
Look, they breastfed differently in Puritan times. Like, as the ending said, this is based on real journals and actual dialogue. Women breastfed with crows. I liked, at first it was kind of a chatty audience, which at first I was like, this might be annoying. But maybe not even 5 minutes into the movie starting, there was some guy who was behind us, and I guess some people behind him were talking, I'm not sure, but suddenly the guy who was kind of close behind us was just like, shh, and then nothing, and then shh, and I don't know, maybe whoever was talking looked over at him, because then I heard the guy just go, yeah!
It was like...
This guy's my hero.
Like this... It was the guy who was shushing the other guy, and then someone on, like, the other side of the theater was like, "Yeah, everybody, shh!"
I missed that. I'm like, okay, I only caught half of that conversation then.
He was, like, making fun of the other guy for shushing everybody.
Oh. Okay, I get it. That makes much more sense
first,
now.
because it was, like, right here, I thought the first guy shushing was in the movie, because it would have kind of made sense at the time, like, because it showed them, like, in the carriage, I guess, is what that would be considered. And I thought it was just, like, the kids fucking around in the carriage, but it wasn't. It was a dude fucking around in the theater.
In every creepy horror movie, there's always at least some scene where somebody goes, shh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed this movie. You know what it reminds me of, like, when they planned on doing sequels to the Blair Witch Project, and then they released Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. I remember, like, an original idea was for the Blair Witch Project to be a trilogy, or at least they were going to plan on a trilogy after the first one became a hit. And so if the second one did well in the theater, which it didn't, but if the second one did well in the theater, then the third movie was gonna be a prequel set in, like, 1800s that was gonna be about, like, the birth of the Blair Witch or the origin of the Blair Witch. You know, if you go into this movie with that mindset, it kind of works.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't thinking about that while watching it.
It is in New England.
Makes sense.
Like, wow, like, even with Blair Witch 2 being a colossal piece of shit, This one, yeah, just make this movie, call it Blair Witch 3, and instantly Book of Shadows is fucking forgotten. More so. The movie's, you know what, like, this movie, along with, like, The Revenant, are like, man, the past sucked. Damn, 1800s, you
could have been named Thomason.
Oh, that's not too bad. Like, you ever see Thomasine and Bushrob? That was alright. It's sweet blaxploitation western from the 70s. It is just like this movie. Except this movie is really white and has a witch. Other than that, totally the same. Yeah, this is like set around like the Salem witch trials are probably going on somewhere in this universe. Like, Christopher Lee as the bloody judge is somewhere in all of this that's going on, and this family is banished. Are they banished? Is it?
Yeah, I was trying to figure. I think the dad was like trying to practice his own religion or something. There was some kind of religious thing going on there. And they told him to stop, and he said he wasn't going to stop, and they're like, so, like, you're going to be banished, and he was like...
You're banished, Joseph Smith.
And he's like, I guess we are, and they're like, okay, then leave, and then they do.
The end.
The end.
Now
scary!
Very scary. They totally left.
They did.
They went in the woods, and this is, like, centuries ago, and... It's just not a good time to be alive. It's really not. When they go, it's all overcast and creepy. The lens is kind of smudgy looking, which I just assume that's just everyone's POV back then. They happen upon the woods, and instantly it's playing this like Monolith from 2001 type score over the shots of the woods, and it's like, no, no, I'm not gonna live there.
Well, to be fair, at the end, the dad was reminding Thomason that it was a really nice place when they first got there.
It so was not. The woods already had creepy monolithy music. It was already really overcast and muddy. Like, maybe there was like one less cloud in the sky. That's it. It was still
like, when
evil.
we got here, it would have been a nice farm. And I'm like, well, you put a farm there and it didn't work for you, friend.
This is like, around that time, they're like, oh man, when we got here, we could have lived all the way to the ripe old age of 35. The dad is Finch from The Office. I kind of thought it was him when I was watching it, but wasn't 100% sure. But I looked it up and was like, okay, yeah, it is. It is. The acting's really solid in it. And yeah, there's...
Yeah, the only time where I wasn't really digging the acting was Caleb's death scene. But
really? That actually totally sold me.
Like, I mean, just like the last little bit of it, I was kind of like... But, I mean, most of it was pretty good. Like, which is why, like, the last bit of it not being good was, like, so surprising to me.
I actually was really sold on that scene. Like, that kid dies, and it felt like he died while fucking Christ. Like,
yeah.
No, I was really with that scene, like, entirely from beginning to end. The movie's a slow burn, and it honestly may be a little too slow at times. If I have a problem with this movie, it's that I probably only understood about 40% of the dialogue in this thing.
I'm so glad you said that. Oh my god. And it wasn't like, because it was Old English, like they had really heavy accents on top of the like really Old English.
Oh, it's, dost thou yield thee thine...
There were times where like, and I mean I'm sure that it's accurate. I'm not saying it's not, but like
I'm sure it is.
No, but like it almost got close enough to being modern English that having the like Old English sound in there was like almost funny. Like there was a part where the mom is yelling at Thomason and she's like, Thomason, come hither, have you lost thee mind?
It's like, man, you're really taking a long way around the block just to go a couple of feet. Yeah, and then at the end, it's like the dialogue is based on real, as if they prepared for people to be thinking this is really kind of hard to understand. And the acting is solid, and boy, do they really speak and shout these lines in the movie. It couldn't have been easy. But
oh god, the scene where Caleb and the dad are walking through the woods, and I think because I honestly don't know what he's saying. It sounded like he was like reciting scripture or something, like the dad was having the kid like recite scripture back to him. He like asks him a question and then the kid responds, but like it honestly almost sounded like a completely different language. Like at first I thought he was speaking it in Latin or something, but it wasn't.
I can't tell if somebody is supposed to be speaking in tongues in this.
Yeah,
they could be quoting scripture, I don't know, or he could just be telling him about his day.
Yeah,
it could go either way. They could be reciting like ye old pub crawl on something, or just, I don't know, saying the words good morning. Like,
I don't mind me moving my folder in the and the scripture. Very good, Caleb. No, it wasn't.
No, you go fuck yourself. I feel, oh man, I don't know if I'm misunderstanding this or if the characters are. This could be just, whole movie could be just a simple misunderstanding. It's like, you're speaking in tongues. You all are speaking in tongues. Speaking in tongues would be, you're speaking like we are right now. So because of this, and man, like it felt like I am so not the type who is like, who puts on subtitles even when it's in English. Like, I know several people who are like that, and it annoys me to an ungodly fucking end.
If it's got really heavy accents, I have to, but like, I have
that's
shitty
one
hearing,
thing,
so...
But like, well that's one thing, and like...
I mean, I feel like that's kind of what closed captions are for.
No, I hang out with people who just put it on just because.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much every time I'm over at Sarah's, and every time it's like, well, so much for me enjoying this. Because one, my ADD is always constantly drawn to the words on the screen. And because of that, whenever it's a fucking comedy, I never laugh.
Really fuck up comedic timing.
Yeah,
definitely.
I never laugh at it because I just saw the fucking joke before they said it. So but with that being said, I actually wouldn't have minded subtitles in this. This is... kind of like...
almost like if you were watching a foreign film, like put it in real words.
Yeah.
Like...
yeah, it's sort of like whenever I have to watch something without subtitles on the Snob.
Mom's like, Thomason, come hither, have ye lost thine mind? Thomason, what the fuck is wrong with you?
The girl sitting behind us was making more sense when she was like, what the fuck?
That just doesn't seem necessary.
Pros don't do that. Oh my!
That was like that was a really creepy scene, though.
No, it was. That actually was a pretty disturbing scene.
She's like laughing because she thinks it's the baby come back to life, and honestly, I was expecting it to be like, I guess like I guess I was thinking too, like, commonplace horror movie, because I was definitely expecting the kid to just start, like, rotting. Like, that's what I was anticipating, that it would just be like, end corpse. But no, it actually was more disturbing.
No, totally.
Because it goes from, like, showing her nursing the baby to, like, it's just her with, like, the baby's blanket on her arm, and the crow just eating her boob while she's, like, laughing.
It was some, like, fucking Amazon cannibal horror movie shit. The only difference is no one shot the bird afterwards.
There's a lot of scenes where, like, they're just, like, burned into my memory. Like, honestly,
really?
Like, yeah, like, there's that one, like, a lot of the scenes when the witch first takes the baby of her, like, rubbing the skin on her body.
That's in, like, the first 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Maybe not the first 5, but that's, like, the first creepy thing that happens.
Yeah, that's pretty early on in the movie.
Like, they get banished, it shows them traveling, it shows them getting there, it gives, like, a 2-second introduction to all of the characters in that the twins are creepy, and Caleb's kind of a perv, and Thomason is a person.
Oh yeah, Caleb did want to bang his sister.
Yeah, Several times, like.
Well, who else is he gonna fantasize about?
That was kind of where I got to. I'm like, he hasn't seen another woman in how long?
What's he gonna jerk
Not
off
that I'm
to
making justifications for creepy incest, but like.
Like, it makes more sense here than in Amityville 2.
Yeah, like. But yeah, like he's got like a thing for his sister, and Thomasin is like the put upon oldest daughter, and she gets called outside by her mom. Who hands her the baby, and she takes the baby over to the corner of the woods because that's where you take a baby. By the corner of the creepy woods.
Every corner is creepy in this movie.
I know,
it doesn't
but
like if you put the baby in the crib, like there is probably some horrifying mouse skull inside of it.
Probably.
It's probably its fucking rattler.
But she takes them right up to the edge of the woods, and they're playing peekaboo, which you saw in the trailer.
It's a show where the ending is the poster.
Yeah, but you don't know it. Like, it wasn't until after the movie that I was like, that's actually a really big spoiler. But yeah, she takes the baby over, and they're playing peekaboo, and then the baby's gone. And it actually shows what happens to the baby pretty much immediately, which I wasn't expecting. It shows Thomasin being like, Samuel! And like running around the woods, and then it like pans like kind of in a like, meanwhile.
Dost thou thine, Samuel, come dost hither.
Yeah.
Those are, man, this is like, is this the curse where they're cursed with word salad?
Yeah. But, yeah, so it shows like the witch wearing like a weird cloak and holding the baby, and she takes him to her cabin, and she's naked and he's naked, and she stabs him, and then she mashes him up in a pot, and then I think eats him, maybe, but there's definitely some like skin and blood rubbing while she's like writhing on the ground creepily.
Real baby back ribs dripping with sauce.
And like it's actually a really like it's really creepy shot. It's so creepy. Like I feel like there's a lot of scenes where like just describing them does not do them justice. Like you honestly have to see.
There's some intense shit in the movie, whether it's like the crow shit or the like little things are creepy in it, like rabbits are creepy in this. This movie makes cleavage really creepy in the scene where Caleb comes across like a porno version of Hansel and Gretel Witch House with sexy witch coming out of it with cleavage, and like, dude, don't, man. Normally, under any circumstances, I'd be like, dude, motorboat those bad, but not here. There's nothing good will come out of this. There's no reason why this hot lady should be sitting in the creepy house in the middle. Nothing good will happen if you go up to this woman.
They also kill the dog. That upset me.
The dog dies. Well, as soon as the dog shows up, it's... Well, we're playing everyone's least favorite game. Yeah. Does the dog die?
It does, yes. And badly. Like, it gets, like, disemboweled and it's still kind of alive.
That's a really quick shot, though.
Yeah, but it's, like, the entire audience was like, oh! Like, you can see it coming a mile away, but it's still disturbing.
Because it's a horror film and an animal showed up, so of course something is going to happen to the dog.
The horse might be okay. But the horse might have escaped the movie.
Yeah, but like, unless a horse is in a Michael Cimino film, it might survive your movie. A dog in a horror film... That's pretty risky.
Yeah, as soon as and especially since they were talking about the dog being cute, like a few seconds before the dog runs off, I'm like, oh, that dog's so dead. Mm-hmm. Oh, the dog's dead.
Watching this movie and hearing him talk is sort of like if I was watching a movie based entirely around like the accents that like Brad Pitt had in Snatch. Because this movie is a pretty simple story. It has the amount of characters in this movie I could count on both of my hands. Like, it's a really small cast. To really go from point A to point B and describing the plot and everything, if you break it down, probably wouldn't take that long. It's a good, simple horror film, but the accents are so thick and they talk so fast that honestly, for what would normally be a plot turn that I could easily keep up with. I kind of had to think about it for several minutes about what exactly was going on. I was like, okay, who is... Think, Brad, think. All right, let me put it together. Which, is that the witch, or what's going on? I feel like I should know what's going on, but I don't understand yield English.
These are two words that do not sound similar saying than normally, but there is a character named Caleb, and the goat's name is Philip, and sometimes I wasn't sure which one they were talking about.
Oh, well, Philip I remembered, because Black Phillip.
But they refer to him as just being Philip a couple times.
Yeah.
There's one point where one of the twins says that she was talking to Philip, and at first I thought she said she was talking to Caleb, because it would be equally creepy, because Caleb is dead. So I thought she was saying she could now communicate with the dead, but she just meant she was talking to the goat, which is innocent. It's not the goat Satan.
That goat was awesome.
It was the best. It was the best goat.
That goat rocked. I loved that goat. That's my favorite goat since Gabby the goat from the Porky Pig cartoons. This one was even better because I never saw Gabby like fucking gore a dude. That goat was great. And like it's a horror film that it's based on character development, and dear God, is it based on mood. It's based on story. It lets you follow along with this story long enough before it really throws you into some pretty intense shit that happens in it. Especially the ending is pretty cool.
It's a slow burn,
is.
Even when it's going slow, it is so tense. Like, you were just constantly waiting for another fucked up thing to happen to these characters.
Well, I mean, it is a slow burn, and I do like a slow burn, especially when it comes to horror films. This one... There were times when I was like, this is feeling a little slow. Honestly, it was because I really was having trouble keeping up with what these characters are saying.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, I really kind of need something intense to happen here soon.
Like, I was always expecting something intense to happen, that, like, even when it didn't, like, I was still like, okay, that just, like, ups the ante for something even more intense to happen.
Well, it's not a jump scare movie, which, thank God. There's no cheap jump scare.
There's a part where I jumped and felt really stupid about it, because I jumped because the kid stepped on a twig, and I was just that riled up.
Oh, I mean, well, that's way different than, like, 80% of the horror movies I go see, where, like, which fucking Cabin Fever the other night, the jump scare was the truck going in the background.
Yeah.
Or, like, if this was any other horror movie that I've seen, like, when she had the baby up there like that, she probably would have looked down, and for some reason it would have been Clown Baby.
Yeah.
Actually, I would kind of enjoy that.
Samuel, thine be doth creepy the clown,
doth thou the fuck?
Doth thou clown hither, clown hither doth be.
Do you recommend the movie then?
If you like horror movies, yeah. No, I mean, it was good. Like, I'm not saying it wasn't good. I just like horror movies, and, like, I'm just, like, I have really bad anxiety anyway, so, like, deliberately giving myself anxiety isn't really something I find super fun, but, like, it was good. Like, it was a really, really good movie, and the scenes that were intense and creepy had reason to be. There wasn't any, like, stupid, cheap jump scare shit for no reason, where, like, a character is just doing a thing and another character walks up just because they know it'll startle you. I don't know that the twig snapping thing was even meant to be a jump scare. Like, that's just me personally.
I honestly don't even remember that, really.
He was walking through, they were looking for Caleb, and he was walking through the woods, and he had just found the dog, and it was shortly before he found, like, Cleavage Witch.
Yeah, Cleavage Witch. That's the Bear Wench Project.
He was crawling underneath the, you know where they, like, set up the trap for the wolf, how there's that, like, creepy looking tree? He crawls underneath that, and as he's crawling, he, like, snaps a twig with his hand. Like, I don't think that was even meant to be a jump scare. It was just such a tense scene already that I was like, a thing happened!
Oh, Jesus Christ! And then behind us, shh, sorry.
No, it was honestly a pretty good audience to see it with.
It was, because they were making comments at just the right moments, and it wasn't like uber freaking annoying or anything like that. Like, actually, it was a pretty fun audience.
It was kind of cathartic for everyone else to also go, oh, when they saw the dog.
Oh, what? Yeah,
it is a really short shot. Like, they don't linger on it like the dog is dead. It's sad, the dog, because it's a dog. But, like, it is, like, it's so quick, I'm not even entirely sure what all happened to the dog. But there were insides that were no longer inside, and it was still breathing.
Yeah, that, it takes a longer to describe that scene in just one sentence than it actually is in the film. It's quick. It's a quick shot like that.
You can still see the dog behind him when he walks away, so I guess it's a little longer, but like it's not focused on. It's like that mirror in the background right now. Now you're blocking it, but like there's a mirror in the background, and that's about how far away it is. It's not. No. It's not like a detailed shot. And like, yeah, if you're not looking for it, you could probably miss it. But honestly, I was like, did that poor dog get put out of its misery yet? Is it still breathing?
He's
poor
fine. The witch will bring him back. Don't worry, it's all good. I've seen America.
I would love it if at the end the dog was just amongst the witches.
Yeah. And the dog is the master. He's wearing the master's robe at the end of it. I've seen American Horror Story Coven. If you write yourself into a corner, you can bring anyone back to life, even if it doesn't make any damn bit of sense. No, I recommend the movie. If you like a good tense little horror film, you're gonna like this. If you like more jump scary type stuff, you won't be into this. You'll think it's too slow, and by the end of it, you'll be like, "What the fuck was that all about?"
The ending is really good, though. Like after Sam and Caleb have died, Thomason says that it's the twins that are the witch, but they don't believe her, but they do. Like, their mom still insists that it's Thomason, and the dad kind of thinks so too, but like he also thinks the twins might be the witch, and so he locks them all in a shed with the animals, and then, like, during the night is when the mom thinks that she sees the two sons again, and the twins get taken by the witch, who comes up and starts like eating or drinking the blood of, or both, of the not devil goat. Because there's two goats. There's the white
black
goat.
devil goat from hell.
There's the white goat that milks blood, which I did actually kind of laugh when, like, because she, like, milks the blood from the goat, and then she, like, freaks out and, like, kicks the bucket away, and the goat gets kind of pissed and runs away, and I'm like, it's your fault!
Yeah. Stupid goat. Stop giving me blood. It's so not what I'm asking for. So they're trapped in the shed with, I guess there were two white goats, because there's two dead white goats in the morning, but I thought there was only one. There's Black Phillip and White Blood Goat, and White Blood Goat is getting eaten by the witch, who the twins, like, mentioned, like, recognize by name, and they get taken. And then the dad comes out the next morning and the shed's ripped to shit, and only Thomason is left, and there's a bunch of dead animals laying on the ground. Which could be just any other Monday in this universe.
But Thomason is still there, and, like, he goes to talk to her, but then Black Phillip just gores him, like, just out of nowhere.
Again, it's something that could easily happen regardless of there being witchcraft.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't even 100% sure there was anything wrong with the goat until it started talking in the end. I'm like, that goat just might be fucked up.
That thing just happened every week in this universe, in that time period.
The mom comes out and sees the dead dad and the dead animals, and that the twins are gone, and Thomason is still there, so she thinks that Thomason is the witch, and so she starts attacking Thomason, and Thomason stabs her a lot in the face, and so Thomason is the only one left, and so she finds Black Phillip and tells him to talk to her, and at first he doesn't, so she goes to walk away, and then he does. And it turns out that Black Phillip, I guess, is like the devil, I think.
Sounded like he had some spurs. He's a cowboy.
So, he tells her to sign a book, and she says she doesn't know how to write her name, and I'm like, that might not be because she's illiterate, that might just be because her name is Thomasin. I don't think I would be able to write my name.
I could, thanks to Thomasine and Bushrod.
Just because the other kids' names are Caleb, Samuel, Jonas, and Mercy, and then we got poor Thomasin up in here, like... Okay.
There's way worse. It could be her name could be like fucking like Hortense or some shit.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so then the goat tells her to take off her clothes and sign this book, and then the last scene of the movie is the goat like taking her to the coven of witches who are in the woods and naked and floating and doing witchy things. And then Thomasin joins them. Mm-hmm.
And there you have your poster.
Yeah, the poster isn't the witch that takes Samuel at the beginning or the one who takes the twins. It's Thomasin, but you wouldn't know that unless you'd seen the movie.
Well, most posters that give away the ending, you won't know it unless you see the movie.
Yeah.
But still, it's like the ending is the poster.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of other posters that like give away the ending of the movie.
Honestly, usually when that happens, it's something bad. Like The Apparition did that. Quarantine did that. There's plenty. I mean, I see that sometimes. I see that when it's like a release, like a VHS or DVD release of something of an older movie. Like the VHS I had for Planet of the Apes is straight up at the ending on the cover.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah.
With the Statue of Liberty as the cover. Yeah, the only one I could think of that like has anything on the cover or the poster or anything is the thing where you can see the Cloverfield monster on the Cloverfield poster, but that's not really a spoiler, and it's also not obvious unless you look really closely.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I recommend going out to the theater to go see this. Like, it's cool it is a really good movie, and also it is nice going out to the theater and seeing, like, just a real horror film made by horror fans for horror fans, and not just cheap manufactured jump scare crap that me and Brian usually go see.
Me and Sarah got this trailer in front of Sherlock, and I pointed out that I was like, yeah, this trailer's really intense. There's this one part that I was like, what? And it's like really dramatic music, and it shows this black goat just like bleeding, and I'm like, okay, that's not very scary. And I'm like, well then like it milks blood, which like that's not the same. Like in the trailer it makes it look like Black Phillip is being milked blood, but it's not him because he's the male goat.
Because he's Black Phillip.
It's
Black Phillip don't bleed no blood.
That is not the voice that he has.
It is actually Tequila's voice. It's Brad Sanders voicing him at the end of the movie.
I kind of wish Black Phillip would have been voiced through it. Like, I kind of want to see a version where, like, you could hear Black Phillip talking through it. Like, just when he's, like, galloping around the front. Like, hey, bitches, I'm Black Phillip. What up? I'm a goat. I'm real creepy. I'm the devil. Come here, kids. Play with me. I'm going to tell you a secret about your sister.
Man, that was cold. Yeah, just dub it. I like any excuse to dub in Tequila lines into something.
Have you guys been talking to Black Phillip? Hey, man, I'm right here. I can hear you.
Did somebody say burritos? Ye old thou burritos.
Doth burritos hither come?
Dost hither thine poodles.
Yeah, like even like while we were watching it, I'm like, I feel like there could be a legitimate plot point in which someone cannot call for help because they have to throw in like 60 old-timey words before they can. Mm-hmm. Like, doth thine hither help thine me?
Is dinner ready? I don't know what any of that means. Is it time to go back inside?
Yeah, there was the part where they were like talking about Thomason, and I'm like, I don't even know what they're saying. Like Thomason overhears them, I guess, saying that they were gonna like sell her to another family or something.
They could have easily just been saying hello.
Yeah, but yeah, they plan on, I guess, selling Thomason as a maid to another family, and she like overhears them, and I was like, what are they doing to Thomason?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It could have been just they're gonna play cards that night. Is something going on out there?
I don't know. Is there?
Oh, you keep looking back over there, so am I missing something?
Distracted by life.
By clown in the window. You want to talk about Risen?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool.